Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, which are words I did not think I'd be saying for a while. But yes, after a casual 16 months of ghosting you all, I've decided to come back and re-put some energy into YouTube. Honestly, I've just kind of missed video editing and creating. The past couple of months have been fucking hectic. Started boldest, grew boldest, kind of fell out of love with it for now. And then on the other hand, I literally moved countries, which is what I'm here to talk to you about today. Yeah, we moved from Canada to London like 6 weeks ago, and it has been honestly life-changing, very exciting, but exhausting. So let's get into the juicy stuff and the reason you probably clicked on this video, which is I quit Big Four Consulting and I got my dream job. I absolutely want to share my story, and then also because I'm me, I wanted to put together sort of 3 big learnings or pieces of advice, if you will, of what I wish I had done or what I learned to do while I was in management consulting to help me maximize my exit opportunities and really get the most out of the experience. I hope that's helpful to you, and I'll be sort of integrating it through the story, so I hope that it will be both entertaining and useful, which is the MO for this channel moving forward, hopefully. In order to understand why I decided to leave consulting, I do think it's worth mentioning why I got into it in the first place. So I did my degree in marketing and digital innovation at McGill, and I graduated in 2019. And I always wanted to study marketing and originally thought I'd be going into a more traditional marketing role. And so my first internship was in fashion at Michael Kors, which was super fun, but I quickly realized that I didn't think marketing was the right fit for me for a post-grad job. Essentially, marketing roles right out of school tend to not have great salary opportunities, in all honesty. Also, the sort of scope of work until you get up to a more senior level is quite limiting, and I really enjoyed sort of higher level strategy. And so after coming to all of this, I spoke to an advisor at school and discovered management consulting. And I ended up speaking to a couple of people through coffee chats and then going through an event where I was introduced to someone who sort of pushed me through the process at a Big Four firm. So I had the chance to intern with them, and the internship went really well. I was put on like tech strategy work. And so when I re-signed for a full-time role post-grad, this was sort of my expectation going into it, that I would be doing the same type of work. But unfortunately, there was a reorg and I was slotted kind of not into the group that I should have been slotted in. My first project was awesome. It was a digital transformation strategy for a bank, so super up my alley. I really liked it. And then my second project was something really different. I was proposed an international travel opportunity, but it was a tech implementation, like a big tech Salesforce project. And my role on it was going to be sort of non-technical, so PMO. So this was a super cool opportunity at first with the travel and whatnot. And then Miss Rona hit, which kind of threw a wrench into the whole operation. And so it ended up being really long hours of doing work that I wasn't really passionate about. And so I spoke to my leaders and I was like, hey guys, look, this isn't really working for me. And unfortunately, the sort of response I got from most of my leaders who I really trusted was really underwhelming. They basically told me that, you know, I was lucky to be in this position and that I needed to put water in my glass. And it really, I felt like it was falling on deaf ears. And so I actually sought out the opportunities myself. I started doing proposals like practice development with other partners in other parts of Deloitte, the organization. And I ended up staffing myself on projects that I wanted to do. And so I did end up doing strategy work, marketing and customer strategy work, which is what I cared about. So my first sort of lesson here is that you need to treat management consulting as your sort of mini or real life MBA. So this is the #1 piece of advice I used to tell literally any person that would join Deloitte, like any new analyst. I would sit them down and be like, you need to take full control of this experience because no one else is going to do it for you. The reason people join consulting, and this is like the full beauty of consulting, is that you get the opportunity to build skills in all sorts of different areas. You get the opportunity to do different projects in industries and types of work. So supply chain, finance, marketing, and automotive and banking and whatever the heck it is you want to do, consulting is that sort of breeding ground where you can develop your skills and find yourself. But unfortunately, in most organizations, what ends up happening, you get really good at something, you end up getting put in the same role over and over and over again. And this actually helps with your promotions and this helps with your growth, but you don't actually want to grow into a role that you don't care about that much, or you're gonna literally find yourself 3 years out of school doing something you hate, but at like a senior consultant level. So like, why the heck would you want to do that? So really, my biggest learning was like, you need to take full control of your career in consulting. You need to align yourself with leaders who are doing stuff that you care about. You need to push to be on projects that you actually want to learn from, that can ultimately set you up to go into work post-consulting that you care about. I also do think it's worth noting here that when I joined consulting, like I think most people feel when they join, I never saw this as a super long-term thing. I remember speaking to people who really thought I would bleed green, or I was like wanting to be the youngest partner at my firm or something like that. And yeah, for a moment, I thought that could be a cool opportunity, but it really quickly dawned on me that I wanted to use this as a stepping stone towards something else. And I think that's why it's so important to set yourself up for success and to build the skills and gain the experiences you want to get so you can actually use it as a stepping stone or a springboard, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so let's rewind back. I'm at this breaking point. I kind of hate everything. The good news is that I was being considered, or I was changing teams, and I had found this mentor in this other team who is like the most amazing human in the entire world. But I think at that point I was so done, like I was so jaded by the entire experience that I just was super open to new opportunities. And so this is not my proudest moment. When someone came knocking from a certain MBB firm, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm looking for a new challenge. I'm not really happy where I am. Like, let me just see what's up and see what the opportunities are. So yes, so I ended up recruiting for 2 MBB firms, and oh my God, do I have so much tea. I am going to make an entire video about this, but I fucking failed so poorly after prepping like literally 150 hours, like my entire Christmas break, doing, I think I was up to like 55 case practices, like with buddies, not even including like the ones I did with Parker. It was just like, I got smashed, like completely ruined. It is a blessing in disguise that I did not get that job. I'm gonna put it out there. I know like everyone says that, but like actually though, I'm so happy that I did not get this job. But anyway, I will come back to that. So yes, once I got the rejection from both, it kind of wrecked my ego, in all honesty. I ended up kind of slowly but surely getting over it. And it was at this time that Parker kind of came to me and was like, hey, I know this is kind of crazy, but why don't we consider doing something that we wanted to do forever, which was to move abroad. And so in classic Tamara and Parker fashion, we built an Excel spreadsheet, and then we did like a blind voting exercise, and we were like, oh, should we move to Dubai or Toronto, Vancouver, or London? And I think given visas and given also just job opportunities, London felt like a good place to look. And so in this sadness, I started just looking for, you know, a few minutes every day, just scrolling through LinkedIn. And it really wasn't long, I think like 2 weeks before the opportunity that I have now just kind of popped up on my feed. And I had set sort of these non-negotiables, or these clear areas of what I wanted out of this new job that I was gonna get, and it kind of checked all the boxes. So my second big lesson here was to set very, very clear goals for yourself going into this post-management consulting job search. And I think this applies as much to what you're looking for out of the job, to the sort of timeline that you want to get a job within. We hosted a boldest workshop a couple of months ago, in March probably, about leaving consulting and what you should look for. And someone so lovely said that you should really think about what you want to talk about at a dinner party. So do you want to tell people about working at a super cool company, or is it a job title that you're really excited about? Think about what you'd be excited to tell people. Think about what you'd like to tell people what you do. English. But yes, you get the point. What I did is set a sort of list of non-negotiables for me in my job. So what I wanted out of job description. So that was strategic work. I really like sort of leadership opportunities. I like branding and marketing and analytics. And these were all things that I really wanted. And then I set also non-negotiables out of a job. This is things like your salary bracket, and did I want a job that was going to be super demanding and require the same hours as management consulting? And yeah, some of these might seem a bit superficial, but I think you know yourself enough, especially coming from management consulting where there's so many perks. You need to know exactly what's going to make you happy out of a post-consulting role. A big thing that I really wanted was to see this second post-consulting opportunity not as a stepping stone. So I felt like my entire time in consulting, I was treating it like this like mini MBA, like I said earlier, and it was just this stepping stone, and it was fun, but it didn't really feel like a craft that I wanted to perfect or to work on. And I wanted this job out of consulting to be something that I could see myself staying at. Maybe not super long term, but certainly enough to build a core competency and that I could bring into the rest of my career. And then finally, you can make a list of companies. I didn't do this so much because I wasn't completely sure what I was looking for, but you know, if you think that Facebook or Spotify or good food, I don't know, anything that you want, maybe you make a list of that as well and then can cross-ref. And finally, I think once you've established all the non-negotiables and what you want to get out of it and the companies, the best way to do this is to set yourself a timeline and just to know when you kind of want to leave consulting. Coming back to this story, I saw this position pop up, immediately knew it was the right thing, and I remember sending I think like 5 messages, coffee chat requests to different people. No one responded except one person who happens to do recruitment for the office that I work at, and so it turned out really well. But then when my colleagues added me and saw the like LinkedIn request, everyone was kind of awkward. Had the coffee chat, and then he really recommended that I go ahead and apply for the position. Wrote to HR in the New York head office to say that I was applying, which was super nice of him. Sent in cover letter from the bottom of my heart, CV that I tailored for this position, and then also a brand book for Boldest because this was a branding role, so I wanted to show that I had the chops to do it. I ended up having 4 rounds, so a screening, then like a case round, or behavioral and case round, and then a proper case round, which was like a 3-day take-home case, and then finally a sort of a vetting sesh with the managing partner. It was hard, but like it felt like I was at the right place the entire time, and that's exactly what I wanted. When I was going through the MBB recruitment, I was like second guessing myself constantly. I was like, oh no, this isn't right for me, I'm not an engineer, I'm not like the right fit. Whereas for this, even the cases, I just had fun doing them and having a conversation with the sort of manager that was interviewing me. So 10 out of 10, highly enjoyed, and so I think this is a good indicator that you're going to enjoy working there as well. This was in March. I decided to leave Deloitte at the end of April, and then all of May I just took off to like prep for the move and like recover. Did the summer remotely, so I started working in June, and then we moved September 3rd. So, and here we are, and now we're settled with our animals, and we have this flat that is my dream flat. So that was kind of the process of how it all happened. So what is my new role? So my official title is Brand Strategy and Innovation Senior Consultant, which is honestly fancier than I think I deserve. So I get to work with senior executives of major brands around the world to work on their positioning, their customer value propositions. We also do a lot of work in sustainability efforts. There's also an entire design team. So we'll do like a repositioning as well as a logo redesign with the entire visual identity system, which I'm not a designer obviously, but I get to work on that pretty closely, which is freaking awesome. So, okay. I know that was super long, but I do want to end this off with like my final lesson of this entire process, which is to put yourself freaking out there, because there is literally nothing more powerful. So putting yourself out there is as much with the people, so from a networking perspective, and then also doing things that you're really passionate about that you can share with the world. And I think specifically to me, that was doing things like starting Boldest or writing Medium articles or even launching a really cringy YouTube channel. But showing the world what you're passionate about and that you can create stuff from scratch and that you can be autonomous and build really valuable things is something really special. And I think when you're in management consulting, you have access to these crazy networks and you have access to learning new skills and figuring out new things. And so there's so much you can do, from writing articles on an industry you just learned about to, starting an Instagram page for whatever the heck you care about. just building something will really, really set you apart from the pack. I can tell you that in my final round interview with the managing partner, he literally brought up my YouTube videos. He was like, yeah, I was able to see your personality and how you were and your presentation skills and your ability to build something from end to end. And it might be cringe, but it does make a difference in how people perceive you. Anyway, this is a really long video. I hope you enjoyed this. This is like basically what I've been up to kind of for the past 6 months, 8 months. And I know it was a lot. I'm so excited to get back started on this YouTube channel. I've really missed it, and I'm going to try weekly or bi-weekly depending on my schedule at work and what we're up to on the weekends and etc. But I'm aiming for Wednesdays, and so if there's anything you want to see a video about, please write it down below in the comments or DM me on Instagram, because yeah, I'm excited to throw myself into something new. I will talk to you soon, and yeah, cheers, take care, bye.